All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever had that feeling, that the world is just speeding up, that the pace of change is getting, well, kind of overwhelming? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating theory that actually puts a name to that exact feeling. We're breaking down the idea of timewave concrescence, a concept that says, hey, this acceleration, it's not just in your head. It might be a fundamental feature of time itself.
So, let's start with the big question. One I'm pretty sure we've all been asking ourselves lately. Why does everything feel so intense, so accelerated? It's like the speed of daily life, of global events, has been cranked all the way up to 11. But what if that feeling, what if it's actually pointing to something real?
I mean, think about it. So many people are reporting the same things. Years feel like months. Those meaningful coincidences, synchronicities, they seem to be happening way more often. And these old, long-standing institutions, they seem to be crumbling almost overnight. It can even feel like reality itself is getting a little less solid, a bit more negotiable. It's this intense pressure. And the wild thing is, it's a super widely shared experience.
Well, this theory actually gives a name to this whole phenomenon. It basically says, you're not going crazy, you're experiencing what's called concrescence. Okay, so what in the world does that mean?
To really get it, we've got to look at a pretty radical theory of time. It's one that suggests we're not being pushed by the past, but that we're actually being pulled from the future.
Okay, so the word concrescence, it actually comes from this area of thought called process philosophy. The big idea there is that reality is made of processes, not static things. The word itself literally means growing together. And in this context, it's talking about the ultimate moment of convergence, the point where all the different branching possibilities of the universe collapse into one single unified reality. Whoa. And this moment of concrescence, it's supposedly being pulled into existence by something the philosopher and mystic Terence McKenna called the Eschaton. He described it as this kind of transcendental object at the end of time. Just think of it as a point of infinite newness, infinite complexity that's acting like a giant cosmic magnet, drawing all of history and evolution right towards it.
Yeah, this quote from McKenna just nails the core idea. Our standard view is that the Big Bang kicked everything off, pushing us forward from the past. But this theory completely flips that script. It says the most significant event in all of cosmic history isn't in the past. It's an attractor in the future, and its gravity is what's pulling us forward.
So here you can see the two models laid out side by side. On the one hand, you've got our standard view. We're pushed by the past, time is just a constant, uniform flow, and history is just a chain of cause and effect. Simple enough. But on the other hand, you have the timewave theory. We're pulled by the future, time itself is actually accelerating in fractal patterns, and all of history is being drawn toward this one specific, hyper-complex endpoint.
Okay, so that's the theory. It's a pretty wild idea, right? But are there any tangible signs? Can we actually see this happening? Well, the source material for this claims yes. We can see verifiable evidence of this acceleration all around us.
Probably the clearest, most undeniable example is technology. Just look at the timeline. The time between major breakthroughs is shrinking, and it's shrinking dramatically. I mean, it took centuries to get from steam power to the personal computer. Then it took just a few decades to get to the global internet. And now? Now we're seeing these mind-blowing AI developments happen in a matter of months. The curve of progress isn't just a curve anymore, it's going nearly vertical.
And this speed up, it isn't just about machines, it's about information itself. Check out this staggering fact. According to some studies, more data, more information, has been created in just the last 2 years than in all of previous human history combined. Just let that sink in for a second. The sheer volume of information being generated is, well, it's almost incomprehensible. And that's seen as a key hallmark of a system that's rapidly approaching maximum complexity.
And it goes beyond just tech and data. The theory points to a bunch of other signs. You've got the mainstreaming of concepts like mindfulness and non-duality. You've got the rapid decay of old institutions that just can't keep up. There's that feeling again of increased synchronicity. And then there's this powerful trend towards transparency. It's like secrets just can't be kept anymore. All of these are seen as symptoms of this great acceleration.
Okay, so let's just say we accept this premise for a minute, that we're living in this period of wild, unprecedented acceleration. The next logical question has to be, what do we do about it? How do we handle it? How do we ride this massive wave without completely wiping out?
And really, that's the central challenge, isn't it? When the very fabric of reality seems to be speeding up, when it feels more and more fluid, how on earth do you keep your feet on the ground? How do you just function in your day-to-day life?
So, the key here, according to the source material, isn't about escaping, it's about grounding. And there are 4 key protocols suggested. First, engage with physical reality. That means prioritizing things like sleep, nutrition, getting out in nature, anything to anchor you in your body. Second, maintain responsibility. Handle your boring, mundane tasks. Keep your promises. Third, connect with your community. You've got to share what you're experiencing with others to stay sane. And fourth, and this is a big one, curate your information diet. You have to limit the news and be discerning to protect your nervous system from just total overwhelm.
And all of that leads to this really key mindset shift. The idea is that the goal isn't to frantically run around trying to convince or push other people. It's to be a lighthouse. That's it. Your job is to stand firm, to navigate these turbulent waters with as much stability as you can muster, and simply by being that stable point, you provide a light for others who are trying to find their own way through the exact same storm. Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this entire puzzle. What is your personal role in all this? In this extraordinary and, let's be honest, incredibly intense moment in history?
See, according to this way of thinking, there is one core recognition, one single shift in perspective that changes absolutely everything about how you experience what we've been talking about.
And here it is. The Eschaton, the great acceleration, the concrescence, whatever you want to call it. It's not some future event that you're waiting for. You're living in it, right now. This feeling of intensity, this feeling of acceleration, that is the phenomenon. You're not a spectator watching from the sidelines. You are a participant, right here in the middle of it.
And this really frames your role in a powerful way. It's not about being the chosen one. That's seen as a total ego trap. Instead, your real value comes from being one unique node in this huge distributed network. It's your specific perspective, your unique frequency. That's the truly irreplaceable piece of this whole puzzle.
And so that leads us to the final and most empowering question of all. This isn't just about understanding some abstract theory, it's about putting it into practice. If this acceleration is real, and if you are here, living through it, what's your assignment? What is your unique contribution to this incredible moment?
Let's end with this one last powerful quote from McKenna. You know, the word apocalypse doesn't originally mean the end of the world. It literally means an unveiling, or a revelation. And maybe that's the absolute best way to frame all of this. The great unveiling isn't something that's coming way off on the horizon. We are living through it. And the challenge and the opportunity is to navigate it with our eyes wide open.